Is Nike your go-to? Because that's our generation, I feel, go-to, right? Nike, J's, all of that.
Mhm.
Um, Somebody recently said, and I don't know if me and you were having this conversation that like that's unk status now. Like if they see niggas wearing Jordans and stuff like that, that means you're unk. I guess the kids is wearing New Balances and Adidas. Do you notice that? Is that a trend that you've seen?
Oh, 100%. 100% you can tell that the older, they're leaning towards the Nike. I see mostly kids in the New Balances, the Asics. I see them rocking the Jaws. But
The
yeah, I
what?
feel like the Ja Morants.
Oh, the Jazz, yeah. Yeah, I see. I feel like that's the only Nike that they probably still do. The Kyrie's was big with the kids,
Yeah.
but New Balances had taken over. Because I remember when I was in high school, even working at Foot Locker, bro, the only new people would come in for them two for 89.99 joints. You know what I mean? I forget what they were, the 574s, whatever they
Hmm.
were. That's all people really rock. New Balance wasn't something that you did to reward them and look cool. And it's funny now that they just that's the move. Like they
Yeah, they
looking at
back now.
Jordans. You wear a pair of like Jordan 13s. Niggas look at you like, huh? They treat them like Mexican Jordans. I be like, damn, like y'all ain't got no kind of sense about yourself, man.
It's only certain J's I feel like you can wear now. Like you probably can get some ones off.
Is it
Only only
ones are
OG
probably my favorite.
twos.
Threes,
OG,
fours.
yeah, you can do threes, you can do the fours, you can do fives. I feel like it's
It's
sketchy for six, seven, eights,
Yeah, six, seven, eights. Like you
nines.
got to be very specific. I think nines because nines are so heavy. You can probably wear some tens. And I think
You
11s are
can get
always
some
classic.
nines off. You can get some nines off.
Yeah, it depends on
Yeah, they
what you
heavy.
got. You got to really have it fit
Mm,
together. Everything else you can kind of throw it with it, but the nines, even the 12s to some degree,
they heavy
and
too.
even yeah, yeah, and of
Hmm.
course 11s are timeless. But it's just funny how when people. I think recently, maybe a few months ago, there was that conversation around. I think somebody was talking about Jim Jones and the way Jim Jones dressed, right? And Fabulous and the way they dress and stuff like that for their age. And I always look at it as you kind of wear what you're comfortable with, what you've been wearing. You know what I mean? Like obviously trends change. Like ain't nobody wearing tall tees no more or super baggy shit, but a good pair of sweats, t-shirt, some J's, that's usually the outfit. I find myself now wondering, like, damn, should I get some different shoes? Like, should I have some casual shoes on deck? But it feels weird to even be in that mindset. I'm like, nah, man, I'm still a Jordan nigga. I'll have some
Yeah,
dress shoes for the occasion. It's either I'm dressing all the way up or I'm casual. I'm not really good at that in between, Saturday night, little button up shirt with some shorts and some loafers. Like, nah, bro. I
I
ain't
was
there
gonna
yet.
say you doing that.
No, 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 no. So I
Oh,
said I'm not
okay.
there yet. I'm not there yet.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, so for me, if it's anything more than come as you are, it's over with for me. I ain't trying to do nothing casual, to be honest with
You mean formal? You ain't trying to
you.
do
Yeah,
nothing formal?
well, even beyond whatever I want to wear, if it's even if it's casual,
Oh, so
like
okay then. You want to be
if
able to
if
come
it's
in.
a dress code, period, I slick probably do not want to go.
You fuck with Crocs?
No, God, no.
Not-
You,
Why not? Why you don't fuck with Crocs?
it's lazy to me. I
Um,
would rather have some slide-ins, to be honest with you. You fuck with them.
so I was the same way with you. I'd rather have some slides and Crocs until I got some Crocs,
Mm.
and then I
And you wear
understood
them
it.
out.
Not as much anymore. Like I mean, we talking like literally. I got to go across the street to grab something for 5 seconds. Like one of those things. It's funny because even what was that last Sunday? I was about to pick up some. All I was doing was picking up some food from this bar, and I had the Crocs on, about to leave, and I'm like, nah, because you never know who you're gonna run into when you look bummy. I already got the sweat sweat shorts with the t-shirt, and I
Mm.
got Crocs. I look like I just came from the warehouse listening to Gibbs. So I'm like, at least let me put some shoes on. So I put some shoes on, and what's funny is I ran into somebody I know. You know what I mean? And I was like, I'm glad I look presentable. I was glad I looked like myself.
Because they definitely would have judged you with them Crocs on. I ain't
Hell
gonna
yeah,
hold
especially the way I was looking. I looked like I was just running out to grab some food. And then you got to start looking like, they would have left. Damn, man, this nigga Rich looking crazy.
Like, you all right?
Yeah, I know. So
they
I was
asked
like,
you
man,
all right twice. You sure you good?
You good? You sure? You need a drink? You need something? But I was like, it's Sunday, man. People probably outside. Let me just double check. Not that it even matters, but I'm like, yeah. So I don't wear them out as much, but they are comfortable just to kind of have around. I'm taking a quick walk, whatever the case is. Like they the comfort is there. I don't do all the other shit like niggas be putting the little pins and all that shit on them that you can buy for them. I don't dress them up. I'm about to get some rejuvenates, them Nike rejuvenates.
The slide
like the Nike Croc version. Yeah, you just put your foot in there and all that shit. And I gotta have some socks, man. I'm not a. You can get them online. There's some places up here. I know.
280. I seen them for 280.
No,
that was the price I see.
Who robbing you? Where you see? I can go on Nike right now.
This was on StockX. Maybe we talking about some different shoes. I'm talking about the shit with the technology in them.
Nah. I don't care about none of that.
The slide-in joints.
Yeah,
but they look like Crocs, though. They just look like a higher-end version of them.
They might have that, but I'm not talking about that version. It's called the Rejuvenate, like React Rejuvenate, and it's just like it's $75.
Nah, these got one in the name. They some Nike something one.
Okay, yeah, so they probably got more to it. So yeah, I'm just gonna get me a little pair of these just to kind of have a little bit of style to it. And I gotta wear socks, man. I'm not a sockless nigga.
Yeah, I can't go nowhere with my toes out. I can't.
Yeah, I've always been that way since a kid. Like my mom used to try to put sandals on me.
Yeah, I don't even understand how niggas wear sandals.
Yeah, my mom used to try to put them joints on. Yeah, especially you know what's disgusting?
What's that?
The grown men with the thong sandals.
The grown men with the thong sandals, or them leather joints. Them leather joints are disgusting.
I feel like if you a certain age, I think you can get that off where I'm not judging you. I'm trying to work on my being judgmental, but I will judge you if I catch you with the thong sandals. Or your toes out for any reason, like the Birkenstocks, all them little shit, whatever you call them, like all that shit. I just be looking like, man, y'all niggas nasty.
I can't have because what if something happened where you got to run?
You know how Drewski be rocking the joints, them sandals.
Just as a man, I can't do it.
Bro, I'm telling you, man, that sounds funny to some people, but that's 1,000% something that should be in everybody's mind.
You can't do it, bro. You can't just be out here with no like nothing. You can't pull up tight. Like sturdy if you're trying to move quickly. I can't be out here nothing like that.
It's almost up there with my can't get lifted off my feet. I gotta be ready for action always. You know what I mean? Just a quick exit. Boom.
Like, cause you said you don't wear Crocs to the airport, right?
Hell nah.
Okay. What about
I will wear them driving to the air. Nah, I probably did. Nah, not even the most. Cause I got too many shoes. So that's another thought process of it too, man. I got too many fly ass shoes to be wearing Crocs to places like that, like out in public. Yeah. Like I said, quick grocery run, grab a couple things, middle of the night type shit, maybe. But if I'm going out where I'm gonna be there for a few hours, I'm actually putting on some shoes. I might not put on the whole outfit, but I'm putting on some shoes at least. And I've gotten more. My outfit's usually the same. I got some black or gray sweat shorts, a white tee, black tee, and some shoes, and I'm on my way. I don't really care about that. I got more than that, but I got to be going for an actual event. Like if it's just an everyday, it's just Saturday. I don't know what I'm doing. I'll just throw something like that on. But if it's like a party, an event, a get together, I'll actually try to put some thought into what I got rocking.
I used to.
Now you don't.
Yeah, like it's like what you said.
You up for real? What's going on, people, man? We back again. Book 2, Chapter 71. Another week in the books, man. I'm your host, Rich, joined by the legend Spike Lou. Spike Lou, how you feeling, brother?
Feeling good, feeling great, man. Appreciate y'all joining us for another week in the books.
Absolutely, man. Always a pleasure to be here with you, man. Glad that we still rocking. I was thinking about this the other day. Just kind of going through our what do you call it? It's not would you call it an episodography? Like it's not a discography, it's not a filmography. What do you call our episodes? What's the proper term for that? I guess I'll set the archives for right now. So yeah, I guess I was going through the archives right now and just looking back like, damn, man, we really done put some work in.
What is it? 67?
We 71. What? Yeah, 71. which is, like I said, it's kind of insane when you think about it. Because we're not. It feels like, at least to me, it feels like Mo just left. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it
yeah, I can
feels
see
like
what you're
Mo
saying.
just left, and y'all only did 100. So the fact that we at 71 already just feels a little bit surreal to me. If my math is correct, what's what?
29.
So we might not. We won't hit 100 before the year's up, but we'll definitely get there early next year. And it makes me think, like, damn, how long have we been doing this? I guess almost 2 years at this point, which doesn't even
Damn, it's
feel
been
like it.
2 years. It
Yeah, I
don't
think
seem like
so.
2 years.
I don't know. I might be hyping that up, but I remember school was on one of our chapters. Well, damn, when was that? I don't know. I think it's closer to 2 years if I looked it up. But either way, man, shout out to you, man. Cheers to you, brother. Um,
Cheers. It's time to have school back on, man. School.
it is. I talked
We
to
need
him
an update
today.
on our guy.
Kelvin.
What's his? Okay, we definitely need a Kelvin update.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I've been letting that breathe because I know he got the newborn,
He
man.
just
But
had
they
the baby,
good.
yeah.
Everybody, yeah, he just got the baby. So once she's a little bit, moving around and stuff like that, we definitely gonna have him on. Just for everybody out there, it was dope. I did see Kelvin. His mom had came down to New Orleans because that's where he lives to see the family and the baby. So I know that was one thing that he talked about in the episode, just working his way through that whole dynamic. So it was good to see her down there and them like having a good time and stuff like that. I'm sure they got more conversations to have, but I definitely want to check in with them and have them on to kind of talk about what it's been like, now that some time has passed and things aren't as new, I guess, for lack of better terms. And we definitely got to have school on. School was just hitting me up about joining him on his pod. And I want him on. We got to have Phil back on. It's been a minute since Phil been on.
Mm-hmm.
Some guests, man. And of course, we got David on next week. I know David has somebody he actually is bringing with him on our episode. So we looking forward to having that conversation with y'all.
Mm-hmm.
But how'd you feel about last week, the friendship episode?
It was good. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a classic, but it was good. What'd you think?
Nah, it wasn't a classic, man. But it was cool. It was cool. I was listening to it. Like I tried to go back and listen to it. And I'm not good at that, man. I'm not good at listening to myself in that sense.
What
I
makes you
don't get.
say that?
It just sounds.
Is it because you've heard it? You don't like the sound of your own voice?
Nah, I don't think it's a voice thing, and I don't think it's because I heard it. It just sometimes you just feel like you ain't got your fastball.
Mm.
And I think that's might have been what it was. I just feel like once you do this long enough, when you've had better material out there or better thoughts. It's almost like my brain was scattered trying to work through everything. You know what I mean? So sometimes I think we get in here and it's very clear and concise. And the conversation just flows naturally and we just going. And I think that was just one of those where it just was what it was. Or maybe sometimes I think I have a vision for how the conversation is going to go and it doesn't go that way.
Mm.
You know what I mean? For one reason or another.
It's interesting that you say that. I have a question surrounding that. So that's a perfect little bridge point. What do you do? What's your response to if you notice or somebody even brings it to your attention that you off your game? Somebody pulls you to the side. Hey, man, you all right? You kind of seem a little bit off today. Or like you said, you was listening back and it sounded like you didn't have your fastball. Like, what's your assessment? Like, what type of conversations are you having with yourself if that happens? Like, are you seeing, do you agree with them? Are you assessing where an assessment could have came from? Like, what's your process?
I think I've said this before. I feel like my two greatest attributes are self-awareness and observation. So usually I'll probably know it before somebody brings it to my attention. So if they bring it to my attention, more than likely I'm agreeing, especially if it's true. I'm the first one to know it. Oh, that didn't seem like my best. However, it gets interesting when I don't agree. Like when I feel like I'm on it and somebody does say that, that makes me more curious. If you were to tell me, hey man, you seem like you ain't right and I got a lot of stuff going on in my life, then I'll probably be like, yeah, man, I probably need a break or probably need to do this. I'm dealing with X, Y, and Z. juggling a lot of things right now, and it would make sense. But if I feel like I'm humming on all cylinders, and then you say that, then I'm like, hold on, man, why you say that? What you take away from that? What is it about what I said or what you were listening to that made you think I'm off my game or I ain't myself, or just in my general? Because that's one thing too. We're not, for the most part, us as adults, not necessarily around each other all the time like it was when we were younger. We ain't meeting up at such and such house, or we ain't going to the spot. Our actual in-person interactions are, separated. So nobody's really going to notice it from your characteristics as far as just like the way you move. It's going to be the how you talk, your attitude. Maybe you're withdrawn from stuff. So I would question it more and be wanting to have like a deeper conversation, especially when it comes to me. Like, what is it about? Why did you say that? Like, what are you thinking? What are you seeing? Until I can get to the root of it.
Oh, a couple of questions based off that. So let's say that it wasn't somewhere you maybe was egregiously off your game.
Okay.
Let's say that someone does say that to you, and you're like, well, yeah, I could see what I might have stayed up late last night. I might have kicked it too hard yesterday, or I might I just have fucking allergies today and they bothering me.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say that there are reasons maybe that someone could have said it to you. However, you also felt like I feel like it'll bother me more if there were reasons that they may have said it. However, I felt like I'd done a solid enough job in keeping those reasons at bay. Like you shouldn't have been able to tell, but you did, and you said something that would bother me more than I know something going on in my life and you could tell me, or even bother me more than ain't nothing going on in this shit in your head versus mine. If I maybe thought that there was something going on, or if I knew something was mildly going on and I was trying to like just push through and you
Mm-hmm.
still said something, that would
Mm-hmm.
probably affect me more than any other scenario.
I think we had that conversation, whether that was last week or 2 chapters ago, about being seen. Like,
Yeah.
you when you feel seen, then that's gonna put those walls up. So I think the fact I'm assuming that the reason that would impact you so much is because you went out of your way to cover it up, to make sure
Mm-hmm.
people knew you were okay. And I think that's also tied into that whole asking for help. Because asking for help ain't necessarily just like, what do I need? It's also, in my opinion, I feel like a lot of it is tied into, I don't want to see you. I don't want you to see me at a weak point. I don't want you to see me struggling. So it might not even mean I need help with it, but I don't want you to see me going through whatever I'm going through. Let me go through it and then bounce back to the version I know I am to be. Um,
You
so
find
that's
yourself
interesting
suffering
that
from
you
that,
said it.
you know?
Nah, I probably withdraw more when I'm going through it because A, I probably don't have anything to say. And B, like I'm not trying to. Sometimes there is no answer. Sometimes there's nothing anybody can say or do for you. You just got to kind of sit with your own feelings or thoughts. Um, I believe it's okay to rot for a couple days or whatever you need to do, as long as you understand that that's what you're doing and you bounce back. Like I don't want to just sit in my bullshit for too long. You know what I mean? So if I feel that I don't got it, or I shouldn't be around people because I'm not in the best, because there's been plenty of times where I'm like, bro, I ain't even about to be fun to be around. Like, trust me, I'm doing niggas a favor. I'm staying home. And those are cool. But if somebody were to point it out, especially when I was trying to conceal it, I don't think I'd be offended by it. Probably make me more open to talk about it a little bit more. Probably need to release it. I learned early that releasing things and just saying them out loud sometimes makes me feel better. And it's like I'm always upset because I'm like, damn, it was that easy. I just need to go ahead and say that. So I've learned even with myself sometimes just to say it out loud. Just say it out loud. Just get it out.
That's
So
interesting.
what
I
about
think
you?
my
I feel
natural
like I know the answer. Yeah,
what what you
for
feel like?
you.
I feel like my natural reaction would be like, I need to tighten up. Like if you can tell and I'm trying for you not to tell, then I'm gonna revert back to like, man, like you carrying too much on your sleeve or your shoulder or whatever it may be, your heart too heavy, you wearing it on your face, all of those
hmm
things.
Yeah.
I feel like that before I feel like
Don't
I'm ready
you?
to share it or be open with it.
Don't you feel like you cheating yourself though with that? Like you cheating yourself emotionally, like to be able to feel what you need to feel?
Cheating yourself emotionally. In what way?
Well, in the sense of if you are going through something or you got something on your mind,
Hmm.
it's okay to sit there and process that. And while you're trying to process it, even if you do it internally, however you process it. So if you're doing it internally and it shows on your face one time and somebody recognizes that and your immediate response is, oh, I'm about to tighten up, I think that stops that process of understanding what you feel, why you feel it, immediately goes to self-defense. And then you kind of like tuck it to the back of your brain and the issue never gets resolved. It just gets tucked away. I got to get back on my shit. I don't got time to really process things. you know?
Hmm. And your question behind that is what I'm robbing myself. Would I be
Yeah,
robbing
of
myself
the
of
proper
feeling?
time to, understand your feelings. And I know this is one thing we talked about recently, we both struggled with is really understanding feelings. So I think part
Yeah,
of it is because of that reason.
for me though, I don't even know why I said for me though, because I'm not disagreeing with you or anything that you said.
Yeah.
But no, it wouldn't be suppressing a feeling for me. It would more so be I'm gonna talk about shit when I'm ready to talk about it.
Okay, got you.
So
Is
if I'm trying to hide it or make it not as visible, not wear it on my face, my heart on my sleeve, and you do notice it, I ain't still in a place where I'm ready to talk about it yet, regardless if you're asking me, am I doing okay or not? If I ain't in a place where I want to talk about it, it really just don't matter. Like it don't matter if you are there asking me, am I okay? Or w- whatever it may be, because I'm not in a place where I can talk about it yet.
when you say it don't matter, does that
Hmm.
mean don't bring it up at all? Does that mean, hey, I appreciate you noticing, but I don't want to talk about it?
That means, hey, I appreciate you noticing. I'm good right now. When I am ready
Okay.
to say something, if I do want to say something, I'll say something. Even if it got anything to do with you. Sometimes I don't like when people like trauma dump. And like when it ain't got shit to do with you, and even though they're your friends or people that you close with, like it just sometimes I feel like you're just dumping too much on people. If they be your friends or not, like everybody don't need to hear your problems. Or just because you had a long day or something on your mind, you ain't necessarily gotta dump
Yeah.
all that on people. So
I
that
think
I operate from that mindset mostly. So mostly with me, it's like I'm good. I'll figure it out. And that ain't no like macho. I'm a
no.
man and I can't show feelings type stuff. It's just that's my thought process for stuff mostly.
That makes sense with you and everything I know about you, and I'm sure the audience knows that as well. Like, I don't think anybody be taken aback that that's the way you view it. Do you feel that that's the same process when it's your friend? So if Dro were one to talk to you about it versus somebody from work, which I'm not saying they would go that deep, but if somebody at work noticed it versus Dro noticing it, do you think you would be more open to talking to Dro, or would you still give him the, hey, I appreciate you noticing it, I'll talk about it when I'm ready? Or is that a different relationship to where you can maybe express yourself a little bit more?
It is a different relationship, and I may be able to express myself a little bit more, but still, my personality is I wouldn't share until I was ready to.
Hmm.
So it could be Dro, it could be somebody from work, it could be an acquaintance versus a friend. If I'm not in a place where I want to, just because we have a close relationship, that don't necessarily mean I'll tell you before I tell someone else. Sometimes, actually, I feel like sometimes it's even easier the less of a relationship that you have with that person that's asking you what's up, you good, or whatever it may be. Sometimes it's easier to tell them versus it is someone who has a vested interest in you.
That's a fact. That's why people go to therapy.
Yeah,
You
facts,
know what I mean? Because you're talking
facts.
to a stranger. They don't have any, there's no emotional weight in the relationship
Hmm.
compared to you talking to your friends and they learning shit about you. Like, whoa, shit, there's
Facts.
so much that could happen from that. And so many different
Yeah.
viewpoints can change. That's interesting. Um, it's funny because and I'm gonna get to some emails. I know we got some comments, should I say, in a second. I found myself learning how to be a better friend. Off the heels of last week's conversation, and just doing some self-assessment, um, and just a better listener in general too. I think more courtesy is probably required in friendships. So what you just made a great point about trauma dumping, right? I think sometimes, and there's going to be people who disagree slightly with what I'm about to say, and who believe the realm of like your friends are your safe space. Your friends are the people you should be able to share anything with, and I do agree with that on the surface. But I do think there is some courtesy that if we're friends and I got a lot going on, it's okay for me to say, "Yo, Lou, like man, I got a lot going on." But before I even get into it, are you on a space to listen? You know what I mean? Or because sometimes I might not even be in. I might got my own shit going on, and maybe I'm holding it up. So let's take it what you just said. Let's say you got shit going on, but you got the poker face on, right? And then somebody just dump all this shit on. You might not have been prepared to like carry that, or your reaction to it isn't going to be genuine or sincere. Well, maybe it might be sincere because your sincere reaction is, bro, get the fuck out of here with that. I ain't got it. But you don't have any words of encouragement or support because you're not batting 1,000 either. Like, bro, I'm struggling too.
That's the interesting thing about friendships too, right? Because you don't want to think that you would be this way, but if you ask your friend, this person who you care about and they care about you, hey, do you mind if I share this with you because it's on my heart right now, whatever it may be, and they hit you with the Jerome, fuck out of here, little nigga. Take that dumb shit with you. Not even on no, like, I ain't trying to hear that shit. We don't do that, but just like you said, not right now. I think you still feel away, even if they express to you. Like, I feel like both, you're not wrong in how you're approaching it by asking someone, hey man, I share all this with you, are you even open to receiving it? And that person can be like, nah, I'm good. And not even on no like just petty, not your friend shit. It's just like I can't receive it right now because I don't really want to share with you what I got going on. So just no. But I think even the person that come to them like that gonna feel a certain type of way once you tell them no. So it's tricky how you balance friendships in those type of situations and how you have to be even more considerate, even when you may be slightly offended by something that a friend does. And the book that helped me with that was Talking to Strangers by Malcolm Gladwell.
Malcolm Gladwell, absolutely, man. I love Gladwell books, and I have that book. That's interesting because I feel like the friendship, you have to have some emotional intelligence about what kind of friendship it is and where it is, right? So there are people in my life that no matter what, even where I am, it had to be pretty dramatic for me not to listen to it. Even if I don't have anything else but an ear, I feel like that would. Now, there's some people that's like, nah, I ain't got it, like you just said.
But I'm okay. I'm not
disagreeing.
That's a me
thing. That's a me thing. No, that's not in general. That's a me thing.
I understand it's a you thing, and I get what you're saying. But do you think that that's a part of friendship too, though? Like, ain't a part of friendship to sometimes be like, hey, bro, I don't want to hear that shit right now, bro. Like you said, Chaz will tell you. I know there's a famous saying that you said Chaz got. Like, I can't think of it right now.
I don't give a fuck if you in the mood.
Yeah, I don't care if you're in the mood, bro. That's a friend thing. I don't give a fuck, bro. Like, I don't want to hear that shit right now. Like, bro, it's tough. I'm sorry. Like, I ain't got nothing for you right now. And for you to be able to say that and pick back up the conversation right there, or an hour from now, or a day from now, whatever it may be, and you can feel a type of way about it, but it shouldn't affect y'all overall friendship.
Nah.
It shouldn't affect. Like, it could affect, like, it could be a little back and forth. I feel like that's healthy for friendships. I feel like a healthy, like, jostle between friends.
Hell yeah.
Just to understand how cool y'all are, where y'all can do this, but it not linger. I don't think enough men know how to do that without it lingering.
That's a great point. And that's what you just described is why I love Chaz so much. Because we've had our share of that, where Chaz is so direct. But see, and this is where it goes back to knowing your friends, right? Chaz is very sincere. Like, so everything is on his sleeve. Like, he's one of the most honest, sincere people ever. He's also one of the most direct people ever. And you know he moves well, but his delivery sometimes can be crazy. So once you have that established, and once you friends, you're gonna have those moments because Chaz is gonna challenge you, and he's not gonna. There is no, hey Chaz, I ain't trying to hear that right now. There is none of that. Like, if it's something he want to talk about, you talking about it. It just is what it is. Like I said, he'll hit you with, I don't give a fuck if you in the mood, bro. You about to sit down, you about to listen. And then you gotta have the back and forth, right? Because who the fuck, what? Nigga, what? Who the fuck you talk? But none of that ever linger. I never had one of those who the fuck you talking to conversation with Chaz, and we don't speak after that. I'm like, we literally, right after that conversation, we back to doing whatever we doing. But you gotta have that, and I think that is healthy, like you said, because it pushes the boundaries. And I'm not saying you're doing it just to do it, but it does push the boundaries to know. I feel like as men, we can disagree and even talk to each other in a tone that we wouldn't normally talk in, but we know it's not coming from a disrespectful place. So it allows me to know, I think, to train myself emotionally as well, to not really react off the way things people are saying, because it's easy, right? It's easy to be somewhere, somebody bump into you at a bar, and then, nigga, watch where the fuck you going, and your first instinct, like, nigga, what the fuck? Who the fuck you? But then you just like, man, I don't know. Like, it ain't that deep. It ain't that deep. Even though it's hard to ignore. But, I think people would go through that when, people call them out of name or do all those other things. The first instinct is like, you want to whoop their ass or you want to fight or you let them know. But that shit ain't got nothing to do with my day, man. Get the fuck on about your business. You know what I mean? So it's interesting how that works.
Yeah, because there's so much ego tied into it.
Yeah, it's all it is.
Like, in the moment, your feelings, your ego's involved in it, and you're like, man, I can't let this person talk to me like this. I gotta defend myself, or I gotta say something back, or you can't have the last word. But again, like too many people just let that shit linger on versus being adults and understanding the history that you have with people and being like it was a moment. Like, I think we get caught up in our own feelings and stuff. We don't realize that everybody can have a moment. Like it was just a moment, bro. Like, we can bounce back from a moment. Absolutely. It's continued behavior that's a problem if it's something, but if it's a moment and both of y'all had lost y'all heads, like, I don't think that should last for a lifetime or a friendship. Like, it's just a moment. Facts. Bro. So facts. Even if you got to go outside, even if you got to go shoot a fair one, it's fine. It's just a moment.
Sometimes that's the answer, but also, it makes you look at the mirror or put that mirror up to yourself and make sure that you're ready for the stuff that you ask for, right? So we talk about accountability and wanting our friends to hold us accountable. Phil's probably the best person I know when it comes to accountability. Like, Phil will hit you up, and it'd be some sincere shit. Like, hey man, I remember you saying this. He a lot like Dro. I always say, man, like, Phil is my version of Dro and shit like that, where, hey, you said you was gonna do this. What's up? What's going on? And sometimes you get them text messages or those phone calls where you're not there. You know what I mean? But you need to hear it. He ain't wrong. And it's one of those things I appreciate because it lets me know, like, all right, you know what? I asked for this. I asked for this. And you being a great friend right now. You know what I mean? Because I know if I told him, hey, bro, I'm done with that, I bet I ain't never going to bring it up again. But if you need the help, if you ask for the accountability, so sometimes people say they want certain things, but when it happens, they don't know how to handle it. Or they realize they didn't really want it. Because accountability sounds cool, and maybe we all have our own version of what it looks like.
As the person that's holding someone accountable, do you pick up on context clues on when to give up on it, or do you make them tell you? Like, if you continuously hitting them up, and because I'm a context clue person.
Context clues. Like, if I care, if I'm bringing this, if I brought this up to you 2-3 times and you ain't brought it up to me once, that means I care about it more than you do. So I'm gonna let it go because I can't. I learned that about myself. I can't care more than you do. That's not.
But see, that's another fine line. I think that's another fine line we walk as friends too, because as a friend, when you see someone, when we talked about this a little bit last week, well, me and you had a personal conversation about this. When you see someone that's doing something as a friend and you think that they're good at it, sometimes they may not know how good they are or how you see them at it, how it's being done. Like you're looking at it from a completely different viewpoint than they are. So when you
Mhm.
completely when you continuously brings that thing up to them about it, sometimes it's you supporting them and telling them like, no, you really good at this, or you should try this, and I see you doing this, and I heard you say this, and you should actually walk down that path because from where I'm sitting as someone who admires you and likes what I see you doing, it could be beneficial for you, and you could be in your head thinking like, oh man, it's just something that it's easy for me to do, something that I'm well practiced in, and I don't even really think twice about it once I stop doing it. So that's why I ask, as a friend, I think it's a thin line that you walk between. I don't want to care about it more than they do, but I also want to point out when I see that they are talented at something, not to just let that shit go by the wayside, to actually pursue it, to try it, to do those things that maybe make you uncomfortable when you do it.
Yeah, no, I agree with that 100%. You need to, there has to be a fair balance. And I think learning what that balance is just learning your friends and knowing what's what, because we never want to have somebody, if you have a skill set like that. Now it comes, and also it comes down to your, whether or not you want to do it too, right? So Spike Lou, I tell you all the time how good you are, and I know I'm not the only person, how good you are in this space. Um, so it's almost like if you said I'm not recording anymore, like I'm hanging up the microphone. If I understood why and it was a legitimate reason, I bet. But even then, I'm still gonna put the bug in the ear. Like it's almost like Jordan retiring, bro. I know you still love this shit. Like I know you still want to do it. Like when you gonna get back on the microphone and shit like that. I used to ask Portia that. Like you know what I'm saying, when she had the original version of the frequency. And then she took time off. I remember being like, asking her, like, oh, when you gonna record again? Like when you gonna pick it up? Just out of curiosity, just kind of see if that itch is still there. So I think that there's certain people in certain spaces where you want to keep it at the forefront, but sometimes it could be a Joe Budden situation where that nigga say he retired from rapping, he really retired from rap. You know what I mean? And then like, I bet I'm not gonna ask this nigga to rap no more because I see that he's serious about not rapping. So
Mhm.
it's just one of those things. Also, in a kind of a complete a different lane, I feel like I've been working on a couple things. One, listening more, like really listening. Like I have a bad habit of thinking about my thoughts, and sometimes that stops me from listening because I don't want to lose my train of thought. Right. So if you saying something, I'm sitting there and I'm listening to you, but I'm also had a thought, or you trigger something that I wanted to respond to. So before you clearly let your full thought out, I might just be jumping in on some just, and it's not out of I'm not trying to hear what you're trying to say. It's I really don't want to lose this thought or this idea. And I do that with people. You know what I mean? I've one thing I've noticed, and I'm like, all right, you gotta get better at that. And then the other one is just making sure that I don't give out advice that's not asked for. So it goes back to kind of the original thing you said, where if you came to me and you started just talking about stuff that you got going on, I don't necessarily know why you're telling me this. So let me ask you, like, what is it that you're looking for out of me right now? Do you want me to just listen? Are you looking for advice? Are you looking for my opinion? Or are you just trying to vent? You know what I mean? Like, what is it so I know? Because the last thing I want to do is give you unsolicited advice. Because not everything is that. And I think a lot of people get that confused in friendship too, where they think because I'm sharing something that it means it's your time to give your 2 cents on it. Nah, bro, I was just trying to get this shit out. And then that's why people I think keep that shit in. Because I know if I say this around this person, they're gonna give me a whole fucking story and examples and this, that, and the third, or why I should be doing this. Bro, I ain't trying to hear none of that shit right now. So I've been trying to make sure, like, bro, if you're just trying to vent, that's cool. I'll sit here and listen and let you get it out. If you want to ask me a question on what I think, I'll answer that. So sometimes we just got to make sure we know what role do I need to play in this session. And that takes some, I guess, emotional maturity and just consideration, because it's easy to be like, oh, you should be doing this. Like, nigga, you don't know what the fuck I should be doing. So
Yeah, that was one of the when I was in a relationship, that was one of the most important questions that I learned. It's like, are you looking for feedback? Like, do you want me to tell you what I think, or like, are you just trying to get this off your chest?
Yeah.
Because it don't. But like, either way, I got something for you. But just tell me what you looking for, and that open it takes people defense mechanisms down. Because sometimes when you giving unsolicited advice, when somebody's just really trying to get shit off their chest, and you give them some unsolicited advice, it seems like you taking the other person's side. Because sometimes when you explaining it and you listening from a different set of eyes, ears, and you thinking, well, hey, I know you was knee deep in it, but it was right there. The solution was right there, and you could have did it, but maybe you feel this type of way about the person and you didn't. And I'm just telling you because I thought you wanted an answer. Whole time they wasn't looking for an answer. They just trying to vent because they frustrated with the other person that they dealing with. So yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah,
100%
100%,
there.
man. I was gonna say I think we had a comment. We had a couple comments from last week's episode. I wanted to get into it. It's all from Golden Child too. Shout out to Golden Child. This is all from our last week's episode. I just want to make sure I read these. First comment: I used to be very nonchalant, didn't care, take it how you want to take it. Now that I'm older, I consider people's feelings more, so I will try to explain or get an understanding. She also left a comment saying, I was raised when you went over someone's house, you did not ask for anything. And if they offered you something, you had to ask your parents if it was okay. I instilled the same things in my children. We had to ask before going inside someone's house. And most of the time, you knew not even to ask. And then the last comment is the first time someone told me I had a big head was 7th grade. It was my first time going to an inner city, predominantly black school. So similar situation. I played basketball and our mascot was the Lady Longhorns, but my brothers used to call me the Lady Longhead. When I got to high school, I embraced it and started a group called the Big Heads. That's funny, man. That's cool. It's flipping it. You know what I mean? Giving it a different meaning. But yeah, I appreciate you writing in, or we appreciate you writing in, Golden Child.
Absolutely. Shout out to Big Head crew, man.
Yeah, shout out to the big heads, man. All the big heads out there. It's funny because we didn't have that whole preamble before we even got into the comment wasn't even playing. Like me and Spike Lou didn't really discuss. Well, we discussed it, but we didn't have anything that we wanted to talk about this week. So I put the ball in your court, brother. What's on your mind? You know what I mean? What we talking about today? Anything?
I gave you all I had in the preamble, man. That was it.
We did get a good 42 minutes out of it, man.
It was a good 42 minutes.
How you feeling, man? How are you?
I'm good.
Like genuinely. Feel good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Genuinely. Easy for me to say good. So yeah, what about you?
Man? I'm good. I'm in a good spot. I had something interesting happen to me earlier this week, or maybe over the week. Yeah, earlier this week. Today's Thursday. Probably Monday or Tuesday. I had a very interesting thing happen. For about 10 seconds, I thought about not recording anymore.
Ever. Anything else?
Yeah, ever. Like retiring.
Really?
Like being done. Yeah.
What spurred that thought?
Crossed my mind. Just tired. But not tired of this. Just tired in general. You know what I mean? I just finished up a recording, and it was a longer one, and I still had to do some production stuff on it. And it was just one of those moments where you start like, damn, I don't feel like doing this shit. But there's a difference between not feeling like doing the shit and not wanting to do the shit. You know what I mean? And I never felt that's why I said it was only 10 seconds. It wasn't like it was something that was lingering with me for a couple of days, but I never had that. Like, even when I've been tired in the past, it was always like, well, shit, I still got the fire and the passion to do this. That was the first time I really let it sit for over a couple of seconds. I'm like, damn, do I want to do this? What do I need to do to kind of feel fulfillment out of that? But I also know it's just where I am right now in the headspace. Like I told you this, I think in one of our private conversations, where creatively, I feel like I'm in a spot where I'm trying to figure out that next thing. And I think that's frustrating me. I think that's frustrating me more than anything. Like I I had to teach myself to just let things naturally come, right? Can't force it, because when you force it, it's never really going to flow the way it should. So I took
What's
that.
frustrating you?
Um, I think it boils down to what people always say. Stop trying to make it perfect, because it ain't never gonna be perfect. Stop waiting for the right time, because it'll never be the right time. I think the idea of chasing that perfection, chasing that moment of having an idea and having what it looks like in your head and wanting to present that to the world, but knowing that would take time, it turned into like, nah, you just got to do it, bro. Like, it ain't. Don't worry about what it looks like or doing. Just start it. Start that process. You can fine tune it on that way. And I think it's just an internal battle of just trying to figure out, or trying to execute the things that I know I can. And some of it is, yeah, I would say that, trying to execute what I know I can and not doing it, because I have this like image of, oh, it got to be like this, it got to be like that. But now it's funny, because I finally got something concrete and laid out, and I meant to tell you, I need your help. I need to have this video up by Sunday night. So on our call on Monday, if you don't see a video up on my page, like, that's something me and you need to discuss. Like, that's something I need you to bring to my attention. And like, hey, bro, like, you said you was gonna do this. Like, what's up? Because I got the idea finally where I'm comfortable. It ain't got to be perfect, but I found something that, like, all right, this naturally came to me. You know what I mean? I'm inspired. Now I just got to do it. I got to do the shit I don't want to do. I got to hit that button, that record button. I got to, share my thoughts, maybe record it a few times over, but I got to do it, put myself out there, and then just say, fuck it, and just go from there. Because I know once I do one, I can pick up the steam and start moving with the idea and the series that I have. But for some reason, I think just creatively, I was just like, damn, man, I don't know what's what. I don't know what to pivot from. But now, is I've got some resources that I've been, reaching out to, and finally setting up some meetings and some conversations that I should have, in order to help me in this space, just in the podcast space.
Nice.
Creative space, so, you would say.
I'm going to ask you about the video, most definitely.
Okay.
And that's interesting to hear. And it makes me wonder, if you stop cold turkey today, what would you do with your free time?
Oh, nothing. At least for a month, I'll probably do nothing. The reason why I wouldn't do it is because I know I miss it. I know I would miss it. I'm not at the point where I can just stop cold turkey and be like, okay, I'm cool. Like I said, pull the Joe button. I got something else I'm about to do. Like, I'm just about to put all my energy into that. I don't have that thing. And I don't know at all what I would do if I didn't do this. Like, I have no clue. And I have no desire to find out. But I honestly would, it reminds me of Heat. You know what I'm saying? You ever wanted a regular life? The fuck is that? Barbecue and ball games? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what not having something on my schedule is. I do think there is some restructuring. Like, I was thinking about me, you, and Mo when I was driving home from work today. And my only thought was, I wonder where does this stop? Not the three of us. I'm just talking about with our like prestige TV stuff, right? Like, how many shows can we actually do in the format that we do it? Like, scene by scene, episode by episode. There's not a lot. There's a lot of great shows out there, but not everything deserves that scene by scene, episode by episode treatment. And it made me start thinking, like, damn, like, how many shows do we have, like, to actually do? We got enough to keep us busy for the next few years. Don't get me wrong, but I really wanted.
I think that answer changes depending on like the overall situation. Because there's shows that I would do with a monetary thing behind it, and there's shows that just would never do. And there's shows that I would
talk about Better Call Saul. You said you would do that if there was some money involved.
Yeah, if it was,
but not just for the love of the game.
Not just for the love. I couldn't. I don't think I could. I don't know what it would be. I think I would put more thought into it if it was like a monetary thing. But I want to ask you, based
Mm-hmm.
off what I'm hearing. So you said if you were to stop cold turkey tomorrow, you take a month off. You wouldn't do nothing.
No, I wouldn't
That's
do
what you
anything.
think.
I don't think I'd do anything.
So let me ask you this then. And this may have came up, but I think this is interesting to bring back up with the context of that. If money wasn't a thing for you,
Uh-huh.
wasn't a worry in the world,
Mm-hmm.
like you did not have to worry about money for anything, what would you get up and do every day?
I would I would want to. You asking for like a day, like literally like a timeline, or you want like the most like?
However you take it. Like if you knew that
Here's what
I ain't
I.
got to worry about, like I can go in the store and buy what I want. I can go to a restaurant and sit down and eat what I want. I can go on vacation when I want to. My bills are going to be paid. If money was not a worry for you, that was the last thing that you had to worry about. Essentially freeing up your day to do whatever that you wanted to do passionately.
Mhm.
What do you think your days would be filled with?
First thing I do when I wake up after I do like my morning routine, I'm watching a movie I've never seen before. Every morning,
Okay. So
watching
are
a
you
movie I've never
going to the
seen.
movie theaters?
No, like at the crib, like just
Okay.
watching a movie I've never seen before. Um,
Every day.
every day, every single day, like first thing in the morning. Like literally, I would get up, pray, whatever routine I have, go to the gym, and as soon as I'm home from the gym, I'm watching a movie that I never seen before. I'm literally doing that every morning, and probably in the evenings, a couple nights a week, I'm rewatching some old classics. You know what I mean? I love film that much and just kind of want to dive into the history of it. I would probably go to film school, honestly. Not because I want to make a film, but because I want to learn all the ins and outs and the intricacies. I would also, I just said I wouldn't make a film, but what I do have a strong interest in is making a documentary. And I got two different ideas of what I would want to cover. Um, so working on the documentary would be one of them. Like actually directing a documentary and being a part of it. I have two very strong ideas that I think would be like great viewing for people. Um, outside of that, I would want to break bread every single day with friends. They don't have to be the same friends, but literally break bread where we have lunch, we have dinner, whatever the case is. It can be a group setting, like family style, you know what I mean? Like Italians and the bear and all that, where whether it's my spot, because I'm assuming I got a dope ass spot or a nice spot. I don't even think I want no big ass. I wouldn't want no big ass house unless I had a ton of people living there. And I don't. I like my space too much to really have a ton of people living with me. So I'm thinking like I probably have a penthouse or something like real fly, but doesn't have to have a ton of space where I got 17
Just an
bedrooms and
entertaining
shit,
area. You want an entertaining area.
entertaining anywhere, so I can have people come through and like, yo, we got the dinner going. I got the hired chef. We got dinner tonight. Maybe hit up a different room, which I want tonight, and we just come and break bread, and not in a like bland way, but in a really like we get to laugh, we get to fellowship, we get to talk, we get to share whatever's on our mind, and let it be a release for people. You know what I mean? Also, would love to have like travel time with people. So you talk about money, not a thing. I would love to Saturday morning text niggas like, yo, we going to, we going to South Africa today. You know what I mean? All right, got everything covered. Meet me at the airport at not the airport, but meet me at the, Clareport at 4 o'clock. Bring your passports. It's all you need. Don't even bring no bag, bro. We can buy shit over there. You know what I mean? All that shit. Just the spontaneity of experiencing life together. I think that's what it comes down to. Like and opening it up. Like we have the access to go. Let's go. You know what I mean? Let's be birds, man. Let's fly. Let's get out of here. You know what I mean? Let's just do different things. And I'm not even talking about on some kicking it. Like we about to go to Miami and just live it up or Vegas. I'm talking about let's really experience life. Let's go visit those other cultures. Let's talk to people. I think talking to people, eating and talking to people would be my biggest thing every single day I had to do. Like,
and learning about something that you love.
Learning about something I love and learning about the people I love too. Like, you know how dope it would be to, you know, if we was in the same city, for example, right? You know what I mean? Or I'm in the same city with all my niggas and just be on some like, yo, everybody come through for dinner tonight, 5:36. We just all boy, whatever your vice is, whatever your joy is, you know, we got that for you. We kicking it, we enjoying each other, and then we open up. And you know, I didn't open up like it's got to be like a regimen or schedule, but naturally just having good time, good conversation. And you learn things about people, and just things naturally happen in conversation, like how we do. Every single week, I learn something new about you, and I'm sure you learn something new about me. It's not like we planned it. It's just like, oh, the more you talk to people, you learn things, and I just think that makes a close bond. I admire people like I'm trying to think of like legendary friendships, right? Or crews that I like the. So let's talk about like LeBron, for example, right? Say what you want to say about LeBron, but I do respect the whole Rich Paul, Maverick, Randy part of it, where you can tell that's a faction that's really not going to be disrupted from an outside source. Like they too close. They got a good understanding. Everybody knows their role too. I think that's very important.
Like the
you know,
Locks.
everybody like the Locks. The Locks is probably the best example of that. Like if the
Jay-Z
Locks ever had a
and
beef, we
Tata.
never and Tata and Emery and OG and all them. Like there's just certain people. Like there's other people around, but like the core of it, you just see the way they move, and it's almost like the rest of the world don't exist. Like all the outside noise doesn't exist because I know these people in this circle got my back, and I got their back, and all of that shit is just internet talk. It's not even real life. So I think there's something to be said going back to the Locks part of it, man. If they ever had a beef, we would never know about it. And they've talked about it like they brothers. They argue like brothers. I'm sure they had plenty of stuff, but they would never go public. Like, it will break my heart to see Styles pulling the Dame and talking about Kiss and Sheik, like in every interview or things like that. Like I really, you know, I know Dame is hurting or whatever the case is, but I wish people would stop giving them that platform because it really is tough to see. Like it's not a joke anymore. It's like, damn, I fuck with Dame, and it's like, damn, bro, like this man hurting right now. You know what I mean? Like, and it's very obvious and clear. And it's like, damn, I don't find no enjoyment in that. Like, it's easy to look at it and be like, damn, Dame, like tighten up. But also, I wish things were different. Even though I don't know these people, right? I don't know any of these people, but you just have this image, and you see them build something. It's like, man, that don't seem right. Y'all should all be together. You should all be doing this. And so I love people who are still tight in a genuine way, not like I've known this person for so long, like a real friendship. So yeah, that's what I would do with my day. Like I would spend time with the people I love. We break bread, we laugh, we travel, and I learn more about different things. And I'm sure I pick up some hobbies. You know what I mean?
Some golf.
Some interesting things. I golf, man. Golf, chess. I don't know, boxing maybe. All types of whatever shit that I ever wanted to try. It can really pay for lessons. Like okay, so we on this. Like I would be golfing
like
every
this.
day.
Oh yeah, facts. It sounds like being with people that you love, learning about things that you love, and traveling the world.
Yeah, because I'm, and that makes sense when I think of. I think I told you I had an assignment for therapy to write down my top 10 values and then break them down to my top 3. And my top 3 were community, self-improvement, and I can't even remember the third one, but I know community and self-improvement. So community being my people, and the self-improvement is me learning something, just trying to keep my game sharp on all of that stuff. Like those are the things that matter the most. Even to getting it back, like, you know what I mean?
For me, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, what's that? What's that look like for you?
So it would still be doing this in some sense of it. Maybe not in the same format, but it would definitely be still telling stories in documentary format, like you said, podcasts, audio series, like cereal, things of that. Like I would want to, if I didn't have the thing of being tied down, having to pay bills, like I would just be out in the world collecting stories.
Mm.
You remember how Noisy used to be? It came on Grantland. You remember that series, Noisy?
Mm-mm.
You remember?
Shout out
I
to
seen
Grantland.
some
I was a
video.
big Grantland guy too, but I don't remember Noisy.
You probably when I send you the clips, you'll probably remember Kendrick Lamar had a feature on there early. 21 Savage had a feature on there early, but it was it was Grantland and well, excuse me, not Grantland. What's the I'm thinking the other one that
Is it the new
Action
one? Or,
Bronson. No, the Action Bronson
oh,
used to be on.
what? Fuck, that's delicious. Or
Yeah, but what
the
was what was the name of the the network that
on
whatever
Vice,
network that
it was
was?
on Viceland, wasn't it?
Viceland.
Yeah, yeah.
So there was a series on Viceland called Noisy, and they used to go around just to different places and like just tell the stories of the communities there. Kendrick Lamar was on one of them. 21 Savage and Trouble from down here, RIP, was on one of them. And they just told the stories with just an authenticity that I feel like that needs to be told and still be done. Where people are accepting of you coming into their spaces where they can still be themselves, but they also respect the journalistic standpoint of it and know that you're trying to tell a story where it can't be too rowdy or too this, that, and the third. And they did that very well on some early features of that Noisy brand. So doing something like that, well, I'm still telling stories. I'm still doing long form content. I'm still podcasting probably on a every other day basis, traveling, spending time, more time with friends, like what you said, more time with family. Um, yeah, those would be the things
What?
that consumed my life. And I would learn something that everybody don't know how to do. Like what you said, you go to film school. It wouldn't necessarily be to learn to make a movie, but you want to know the intricacies of film. I would like want to go to culinary school, or I would go to like
Mm,
barber school, like just to learn a skill like that, like to cook and know what each ingredient and shit do, or to be able to know how to cut hair with the 7 strokes that you're supposed to be able to do to clear a face for a beard. Just
yeah,
different things of that nature where you learning this real particular skill set.
that's a culinary school's a good one. I could definitely see myself going to
Yeah.
culinary school to learn that shit. Also, probably learning a language too. You know what I mean? Is learning a new language. Um, that's a good one. Those are good ones. You said something in there that made me spawn a question. Recording. You say you still be recording podcasts. What does that look like though? Because you're not. I would imagine you're not doing as many as you do now, right?
Probably not as
You
many
don't.
as I do
You don't
now.
have to.
Yeah, but it would be more like on some streaming type shit.
What you
I
mean?
had a whole stream thing with me and you come in the room
Oh,
like
you would
like the
turn. You would be
streaming
a
niggas
streamer.
do. Yeah, like the streaming
Okay.
niggas do. I would still do some podcasts, but I would do more streaming type shit
You think you
while
could
I'm
do that?
here.
And
Yeah.
this is coming from
I
someone
think
who
I probably
I
could
don't
do that.
know.
I'll probably be better at that than this.
That's interesting. So, all right, this is a perfect opportunity for you to kind of break this down for me because I understand what a streamer is and I understand the concept of it, but I've never sat down and watched a stream. So
Hmm.
I'm assuming it's just people living their regular lives, except for they got a camera person with them, and they just kind of
Hmm.
document what's going on as they go. Like maybe walking around a city, you got the camera, you run into somebody, like ask them a couple questions, you move on. You think you would be better at that than that? Why do you say you'd be better at that than this?
I get so many random conversations just when I'm out. Like it'd be so much stuff that I run into. Is like I needed a camera for that. Like somebody should have seen this interaction with
Mm-hmm.
me and this person, or they should have seen this thing that I just seen and been able to hear me comment on it, even if it's playing like National Geographic and I ain't right there with them, but I'm just watching and you can hear me commenting over it. Some shit that's happening right there in the wild
Yeah,
outside. Like I just
interesting.
I'm I like my observational skills in that setting to feel like it would be very entertaining if I did it.
Which makes
But
sense. That's why you would want to do a documentary
yeah,
too, like that, because
facts.
you. Okay, got you. What about the downtime? See, that's I think that's where I would say this ain't entertaining because I have those moments where I don't want to be bothered or do I want to approach anybody. So streaming might just be me just chilling or not doing shit or not talking or whatever the case is. I guess that's the
Yeah,
time.
some
I
shit
guess
like
that's when you
that.
turn it off.
Well, or even you, like you said, I done seen some streams where they chilling. They got the vibe playing. They got the vinyl out. They playing the old school joints. They got the wine. Nice view of the city. They ain't saying shit, and people just there vibing with them. And then you also had
is that how do you feel about that?
It's crazy. That's what entertainment is. Because like, take that for example. You had a person who you watch and stream. They may look every now and then at the chat, but you interacting with people in the chat while you doing it. And that's the thrill that those people get out of it. They share community moments. They joking with each other inside the chat, just like when you watch a versus. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Just like when you watch a versus on IG or YouTube.
Yeah.
Half of it is about what you're watching on screen. The other half is about these funny ass comments and who is in the comments and who's doing these different things.
That's a skill I wish I had.
What's that?
So let's say Sundays House of the Dragon comes on, right? I wish I had the skill to like. There's some funny shit on Threads when it comes to House of the Dragon.
God.
Like the memes, the videos, the pictures that people make, and I'm like, man, I'm witty, but I wish I was witty in this way to where I can take like a photo or something from the show and reference it. Like one of my favorites is when people say, when I send you this, just know blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? And it's not anything so profound, but it's like, damn, why didn't I think of that? Because that's fucking brilliant. And I wish I had more of that. Like it's almost like old Twitter, how it used to be. Like there's certain moments where you only got a few characters to make this shit work. That's why that's why I used to love Vine. You only got 7 seconds to be funny. You know what I mean? Like you got to get to it. Like so. It's either going to work or it ain't going to work. And it takes a certain skill level to really like get your point across and be funny without saying as much or only having a certain amount of time. And I'm like, man, I'm more conversational. I don't know if I have that, I have my moments in conversation, but I don't think I could ever sit down and think about it in the sense where like, oh shit, my brain feels like I could have came up with that, but I'm like, it won't.
It got to be more natural for me. Like, it got to be like in random conversation and things like that.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know what got Vine out of here, but that shit almost broke the world.
What you mean?
For people to be able to, like, even TikToks normally, you talking about 35 seconds on the low end. Like, quick, they not quick. You still I'm assuming on average 20 to 35 seconds. Like you said with Vine, bro, you had to get that shit across in 7 seconds or less. And it had to be good. If people had continued to try to master that platform, the way that brands and shit would have been able to tell their stories instead of commercials, now they doing 7-second Vines and people fully understand how to process and look at it, know what they're trying to do and how they're trying to be funny. That shit would have changed the world. They had to get that shit out of here, to be honest with you.
That's a fair point. You've been seeing these Stevie Wonder TikToks, by the way? The girl dressed up like Stevie? Bruh. Hey, man. I love how you could just see something and it's just funny to you. Like, there's this girl who puts on like the little ball cap and got the bead braids. Yeah. And she be having like the cane and the glasses, and she's Stevie, but she can see, but she acting like she can't. So like the famous one that blew up was like TMZ. She was at the airport, right, dressed up like Stevie, and TMZ, Stevie, and she like dodging them and shit like that, but doing shit Stevie can't do. Like everybody got the joke that Stevie can really see, so she kind of playing into it. And this is a video that she made. See, she's like a whole series.
She black or white?
It's hilarious. She black.
Oh, okay.
Shit wouldn't go. She was white. Shit wouldn't go.
That's what I was wondering.
No, some shit. But that's that's I want to stick on this real quick because let me ask you this: what makes a bad streamer? What's a bad stream look like? So if streaming could be as simple as I'm just sitting there vibing, not even saying anything, what's a bad? Because that sounds like when I first learned that kids watch other kids on YouTube play with toys
and video games.
I couldn't understand it. So what is a bad stream? Because it sounds like you can do whatever and still have some interest.
I feel like a bad stream is someone who's still a novice to it. But I feel like a bad streamer is someone that don't pay attention to the chat, the community, because
Mm-hmm.
that's usually what drives it. So even when I'm looking at somebody like Ben the Don or Casanat when he was popping, what made them good is they would be out doing their thing, doing all the streaming stuff. But then and then you check with the chat. You see what people's talking about, you see what they saying, you see what they're noticing. You comment on it in real life, or you pick it up in real life, like they commenting about the chick over here in the light blue shorts that you didn't see. Now you read the chat and you see light blue shorts, and you're like, oh shit. And now they're just conversation being had, the emojis being posted or whatever it may be. So I feel like a bad stream is one that ain't interacting with the chat, but a good stream is one who's interacting in time. It's like an all inclusive world. Like I'm out doing this thing with you. Like one of the best ones that I've seen, one of the two of the best ones that I've seen is one when Casanet did his pool party. I think it was a couple years ago now. But he had all these people at his house, these famous streamers. I ain't know half of them, but there was some rappers there, people that I would know off like recognition. Like, oh, okay, I know who it is. And all of these people there, they at his house, they streaming, they getting lit, all these different things going on in these different rooms. He interacting with the chat to them to go back to this room. That's entertaining because you getting to see a viewpoint that you usually don't get to see. Same thing with him and Drewski did the BET Awards. Like as the BET
Yeah.
Awards were on, they were streaming it. They were doing all the stuff behind stage. They were talking to Kev. They was in Kev's dressing room. They were talking to people as they was walking up on stage right before they went live. And if you're watching both of them, you can see them doing a stream thing. Then you see the person pop out on live, and it's just this different experience. So a bad stream, to answer your question in a very long-winded format, is someone who ain't interacting with what the person who's in the stream is seeing. And a good one is someone who is making everything all inclusive.
How much does personality have to do with it? Can a boring person be a good streamer?
Yeah, if they got a good fan base. Because I think again, from what I know about it and what I'm looking at, the fan base is what's driving it. So the chat, it's what's driving it. If they got a couple key monikers for the chat to pick up on, like W's in the chat or whatever symbol, emoji you want the chat to put in, and they do it because they know that's when your chat lit, I think you can be boring as hell and still make money and do well on it.
Academics is a streamer, right?
Exactly. Like that nigga not interested.
Doesn't that
He
put
just
things in
willing.
perspective for you?
Yeah, a lot.
Like, you know what I mean?
He's
Does it
not
feel? Do
only
you feel?
is he a streamer, he's the number one streamer. Think about that.
Yeah, since Kai stepped down, right? Isn't that you? So you think he's above like Benadon and I don't know a ton of streamers. I
He's
know
the
there
number
are some.
one. He's the number one in urban media space. Probably even over Joe and Charlemagne.
That's fascinating because, and I know I mentioned this before, but there's a lot of stuff that I see and I'm like, yo, this got all these metrics and likes and reposts and all this stuff, and it's some bullshit. You know what I mean? Like it's some bullshit, and it makes you think like, why am I not doing? I don't want to say something like that, not like because I don't. I think that happens a lot. The podcast space is a big example of it. People just say, "Oh, this looks like people are successful at this. Let me try it." I do think you have to have some skill in there, but why can't I find my version of this? Why am I not just attempting to do it? That's why I just talked about earlier with this video. I'm like, yo, just do it, man. Just put that shit out, bro, because you never know what's gonna latch on. Because I am a pretty interesting dude, and I feel like the stuff that I know well, and I can explain it in a certain way that's interesting to people. I don't have to be the biggest. It doesn't have to be the biggest video or whatever in the world, but I do feel like the more you do it, the more you share your talent, the more it's gonna find who it needs to find, and you'll be surprised at who reach out. That's why even recently we got a. I don't know if we talked about this last week or not, but even recently we got an email from. We still getting emails from good earners. You know what I mean? From people who just now discovering the show, and they always give us compliments on how well we break things down. And It's like, yo, you are good at this, bro. Do more of it. Like, make sure people see you in that space. So, with that being said, why don't you? What's the hurdle of streaming
What you mean?
for you? Like, Why wouldn't you stream?
I don't feel like it's a one man job,
Okay,
and I'm a one man show, so
I got you.
they the one man
You
job.
da-
So
you Damon Wayans.
I don't know what that means.
Uh, so people always talk about, obviously they talk about the Wayne brothers and the family, but they
Yeah,
always talk about like Damon and how Damon will do his own stuff. Like Damon doesn't do a ton of group. Think about it. Damon wasn't in Don't Be a Menace. Damon ain't in none of the scary movies. Damon wasn't in White Chicks. Like, Keenan directed him and both the brothers in him. All this stuff where Dana's around and there's no beef, obviously. Like he'd have Keenan and whoever on My Wife and Kids and all that, but he just wouldn't. And I know Marlon recently was mimicking his voice, like, I don't like splitting my money 4 ways. I don't like doing this, like just kind of making fun of it, but it's the same sense. Like, yo, I love y'all, but I'm a one-man show. Like I'm doing my shit my way. I don't want to have to answer it, convert to anything. Like, let's just do it this way. So that's why I said it, man. It's funny. You damn it.
I don't necessarily think so. If I had the help, I'm open to the help. Whatever help that will come from me doing it, I'm open to it. But like we talked about a couple episodes ago, I just ain't asking for it. So that's more so what it is for me.
Let me ask you one more question about streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, go ahead. Share your thought.
No, go ahead.
How long does a normal stream last? Because that's the thing that's a real thing that throws me off. Like if we talking about people spending their whole day streaming, I don't think I could do. How long does it last and how many days a week? Are people streaming every single day?
It depends. So I haven't watched any of them lately, but when I was into it, it was being done during I think it was maybe last summer.
Because the Ben Adon was doing he was with your man's right with
Pooh Shiesty.
Belly Gang.
And with Belly Gang, yeah.
His pops and all that. Because I think you remember you telling me about that.
Them shits, that one with his pop made with Belly Gang pops, that may have been like 4 hours. They went and delivered. Okay. They went and gave out turkeys. When it was like 3 locations. Even the Pooh Shiesty joint. Like Pooh was in there recording, and they went to another location. So the streams are very, very long form content, which is why, again, I say, if I'm a one-man band, like you can't do, like you got batteries that got to get charged, different cameras that got to swap out because it's very long form content in what you're doing. But yeah, you gotta. That's a long term investment, and I ain't not even talking from a money standpoint, just from a time standpoint. But that's what kids watch. That's how kids or younger demographics learn you now. I was thinking about this the other day, and it's something to it, I believe. Like we were raised on like sitcoms. Like think of the amount of sitcoms that you watched from the time that you was probably 8 to 12, 13.
Countless.
Nigga, think about all the sitcoms that you watch.
Countless.
These kids now, they don't watch that. They watch streams. So when you wonder what the difference is when you go into the store and the customer service and how people interact with people, is because they seeing streamers interact. They not like the sitcom shit was very paper cut. How you expected America to act. Like it was the ideals of America. Like if you're sitting, if it was a sitcom, they was writing that shit perfectly. Because they wanted it to end perfectly. All problems are done within 30 minutes. So here's a problem, here's a resolution. Here are all these things to it. Through the majority of our childhood, we all sit and watch these things. It was like, damn, that's how life goes. You're presented with a problem. That problem is there. You figure it out. It's over. Everybody lives happy ever after. Next week, we come back. We do another show.
Yeah.
These kids nowadays, they just watching streams. Like it ain't like it's a continuous, ongoing thing. So the smaller things that we notice as millennials now in our age group, whether it be customer service, how people from a younger generation talk to you, conversations that you have with younger generations is because of the differences that we've experienced in our media. What they
Mm,
look at all day, every day versus what we used to look at all day, every day. They look at each other playing video games and streaming. We looked at sitcoms and cartoons. So,
that's a great point. And they grew as the decades changed too. So like when the society changed, the sitcoms changed. So you go back and a character like Archie Bunker
mm,
represented what was going on during that time, and you would put that on TV. You a kid, I won't even say kid, the 25-year-olds go back and watch like the character of Archie Bunker, and they wouldn't
all in the
believe
family. Yeah.
uh, yeah, the character Archie in particular in All of the Family. And I don't think they would believe that used to come on TV. Like, this used to come on primetime
Network
television, just
TV,
network TV.
the
Yeah,
top TV show, like the top
hmm
show. Yeah.
yeah. Like it would be hard to now. What do you think the future is for the? Hmm, I don't want to say the entertainment industry, but the film and television industry. Like, because let me ask you this: are 20-year-olds watching House of the Dragon? You think?
Hmm. That's a good question. I don't think so.
So, what do you like? What's going to happen to television and film? Because this is the first time, because this is the first time in history where that's not like the leading entertainment factor. And what I mean by that is, like you said, you got streamers now, you got YouTube, you got all this other stuff. Where our generation, when YouTube came out, I was 18, so I was already established in regular life, sitcoms and all that, movies, and I can appreciate sitcoms and being able to see things there. We talk about how we were outside. Well, we got the best generation because we was outside. We knew all the outside shit, but also we had every kind of piece of technology. We saw technology advance as the years went by, all the way from record players to cassette players to CDs to iPods. Now you got
Blu-rays.
MP3s, you got Blu-rays, you have VHS. You kind of seen it all, so you know how to operate in all these spaces. We weren't a generation that grew up on iPads, right? We didn't have a tablet in our face the whole time. Now this generation, that's what they know. That's all they've been used to. So they don't
Mhm.
have the same care for certain movies or television shows and things. Like even on some date shit. Like one of the things for us was just going to the movies. That way we didn't care about the movie sometimes. We just linking up with little shorties. You know what I mean? And
Facts.
making some shit shake like that. None of that happens anymore. So I wonder what the future for that industry looks like. If you're not making movies for young people, like how much longer is that going to be a thriving business?
Well, I think they're just going to adapt the way that they tell stories.
Okay.
So we see this with Netflix now, and you probably should notice this since you watch good TV and then you watch the bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a difference as to how it's presented nowadays. And you will notice it especially when you're watching Netflix. Do you have any shows that you've watched on Netflix lately that you was fucking with? That I know
Shows?
that they've
No.
had some hits. Yeah, shows in particular.
No, I haven't watched any Netflix shows in a while.
You know why that is, probably.
Why?
You probably didn't enjoy it last time you watched it because they have a certain way that they like the majority of their stories told. And that's in the sense of if I'm not watching, I'm gonna do this dump of the dialogue so where you can even understand it if you're scrolling your phone. And Netflix in
Mm.
particular does that more so than any other streaming service from what
You
studies show.
know,
So with Netflix, and you'll notice this when I say it, you'll have these shows on Netflix. They'll do this thing where the characters in it will just go through this whole thing of everything that you just watched.
mm-hmm.
Billy did this and such we suspect is the killer, and the police don't know anything because of this. And that's included now in the dialogue because they expect you to be scrolling your phone while you're watching it. And you may miss
Interesting.
it. You may miss it on screen, but you hear it, and then you may look up and say, "Oh shit!" And whatever it may be, it catches your attention for a couple of seconds. More people are going to start telling stories that way. where they just. I know I told you about this, and we talked about it a little bit. The Taylor Sheridan interview, and he was talking about how he makes his. And Taylor Sheridan did Yellowstone and Mayor of Kingstown, Landman, different things for those of you who know about that. And he was saying, if I'm making a TV show or a movie, I want to be able to tell the story without saying a word, because that's the whole point of me doing it in this medium. I'm not writing a book. I'm not writing an article for a magazine. So if the camera can say it, why do I need to say it? And he said, that's the thought process that I go about in making my movies, but that's flipped everywhere else in Hollywood now, which is why probably his shows are more successful than a lot of shit that you see. And he can damn near get a hit however he need to put it out, because he got all these different shows. But most shows are explaining to you with the dialogue everything that's happening versus showing it to you how we're used to watching it on TV. And they're explaining it to you because they ain't expecting you to be watching it. They're expecting you to be scrolling your phone, talking on your phone, doing all these other things while that's playing in the background. But they don't want you to lose track of it.
That's very interesting. That reminds me of Chili Palmer and Get Shorty. Obviously, he was in Be Cool as well, but Get Shorty. I was watching Get Shorty recently, which is a classic. But there's a line he always says, "I'm not going to say any more than I have to, if that." Which is a quote I'm trying to live life by. But also, you make a great point, and you 100% on the money. And I don't know if it was the Oscars or the Emmys. Sterling K. Brown, and I believe it might have been Conan O'Brien, had like a little small skit about that, where they talked about like a movie like Gone with the Wind, or one of those old school 3.5, 4 hour movies. Or think of a movie like a Godfather, right? Godfather is 3 hours long. There's no way somebody's going to sit down and watch a Godfather if you're not from that generation or our generation or anything like that, because they're not used to watching things like that, like you said. And they made the point about like, that's why these characters are continuing to, they're repeating the die. It's almost like Big, a story to tell. He raps a story, and at the end, he tells a story. Because you weren't probably paying attention to everything that was just going on. So let me reiterate for you so you can kind of keep track with the storylines and this, that, and the third. That's a very interesting point. And
that's why it's less likely that someone like you or me who watch a lot of movies and TV and appreciate dialogue and get it in a lot of different formats or streaming services, you're less likely to find a show on Netflix, because most of their hit shows do it that way. So when people always send me stuff, and this is dope from Netflix, this is dope, and I tried like maybe the first 20 minutes, and I'm like, I can't watch this. So I don't even know how we got there.
We were just talking about.
You asked about how media would be in the next whatever years.
About the whole business model.
To loop it all the way in, that goes to streaming. When you're on streaming, that's what you asked about a good streamer. That's what a good streamer does. And that's how kids process their information. A good streamer is on the screen telling you what's going on in the chat, what he's seeing around him, what he's thinking. So just like a good streamer, you ask what makes that, that's what TV is going to evolve into. Where they explaining this shit verbally versus showing you shit and doing visual dope shit like Nolan just did with The Odyssey.
I see it even getting to the point where, speaking of Netflix, Netflix just put podcasts on, their platform. I can see the same thing with streamers. I can see it where these streaming sites have deals with streamers where if I go to, maybe not Apple, but let's just say Paramount Plus, and I can go ahead and watch somebody stream directly from Paramount Plus, because that's how people are watching. And what
they haven't. The only reason they haven't done that because they ain't figured out how to box Twitch and whatever. I can't think of the other one right now, but it's Twitch and it's the other one. If they figure out how to box them out, they would definitely do that.
It's interesting, man. Is it who got the verses? Who did the verses deal?
Who did they? That's not the person that I was thinking about, but I know who.
Who is that? What company is that? Damn. Triller? Is it Triller?
Thriller, yeah, Thriller, something like that.
Triller. But they're not a streaming platform. in that sense, like for streamers.
They tried, but I don't know how
Okay.
successful they were. Yeah, it's Twitch and it's another one that's a big one. Those are the top two.
Interesting, man. And stuff is getting canceled. That's what sucks for like people like me. Like the good stuff isn't coming back. Like they just announced Wonder Man is not coming back for season 2. They announced season 2, but it's not coming back. Wonder Man, you didn't like Wonder Man? I think that's a Spike.
I'm fucking with
you. Yeah, that's a Spike Lee thing. But even if like you got these established people who aren't like Kevin Hart putting out bullshit, and I'm like, I don't understand how that even gets by. But you have good material that just can't seem to find legs. I don't know. It's just weird. Like I don't know who's watching. That's 72 hours. Like who's watching that? Like who is that for?
What's 72 hours? I don't know what that is.
Exactly.
What is
some shit on Netflix. It's some shit on Netflix with Kevin Hart and people you ain't never heard of before. And it's just a little random movie, like all those other Netflix movies. And
yeah, Kevin Hart don't move the needle no more, I feel like, for black people.
But who does he move the needle for? That's what I don't understand. I'm not even trying
corporate America.
But that shit don't be funny. Like, so 72 hours. I'm gonna find the synopsis so I can read it to you. Just so I can see what's what. He got so much shit. And shout out to Kev, man, for getting this shit done. A 40-year-old executive ends up at a 3-day bachelor party with 20-somethings after being mistakenly included in their chat group.
So Hangover.
Yeah, it's an hour 45 minutes of just random shit. This old man, they just doing a bunch of goofy shit the whole time.
Yeah, it's just
I'm just like
a new generation for Hangover. So that's what it sounds like.
It just doesn't appeal to me. I don't know, man. I guess there's something for everybody. I do miss those days where all the sitcoms, you just had to be present. It is what it is. It is.
But I think that's one of the biggest differences that we notice between our generation and the younger generation is we used to, I don't know what it is. I have to think about it more to articulate it how I'm trying to say it, but it's a thing to have sit in front of the TV and watch Family Matters, The Cosby Show, Full House, Moesha, Rock, fucking Martin, all of those things versus sitting there versus sitting there watching a streamer. Like it's just I think that you pick up just different things in life. And when you go out, and I know I talked about it on here, I'm having a conversation with Dan. He's like, why do cashiers feel like they don't have to speak no more? Why is it so awkward with an older generation and older generation and the younger generation? And I think that's part of it. Like just the media that we consume, like ours was so different. So,
and every generation different. I don't think either one of us.
I don't know. They may watch. Do they watch Disney shows and shit like that now? They may have sitcoms. I may just be ignorant. I don't know. But everything that I've been told from people who are around teenagers and adolescents is streaming 24/7. Different streamers or different get ready with me or play this video game with me.
Yeah. And I think it's easy to understand because we saw the beginning stages of that. Like I remember video games when they first introduced online play. Like, you never would have thought people were streaming themselves play, but now that's a big thing too. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's interesting to watch the world change, but also accept it because every generation has their own thing. I think as long as every generation is taken care of, but the world has always been, I think, manufactured to take care of the 18 to 30 demographic, right? I think that's the primary, or whatever you want to call it, 16 to 30. Whatever that 16 to 25, whatever you want to call it, I think everything's geared towards that demographic. And I think that demographic's changing. That's a different group than what it was when we were that age too.
Would you be open to going to hang out with them on a Saturday?
Go and hang out with who?
18 to like 23-year-olds. Just
so you saw you saw my instant response about to be fuck no, but there is some curiosity just to see like what do y'all do? I just feel like I will leave that completely underwhelmed and confused. Like y'all niggas suck. Like y'all are terrible. Like this shit, there's nothing fun about this. And I don't know if that's me or if that's them. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe I'm the old nigga out here.
That's interesting. I don't know if I would or not.
I think I told you.
I think I would be able. I may be willing to do it.
I would do it. Don't get me wrong, I would
Yeah,
do
on
it, but I
some
don't
yeah,
think I'd have a
like
good time. It'd be a one and done.
just
I,
to experience it and to come talk about it.
yeah, absolutely in that sense. But it's also just that not knowing where you are in life too. And what I mean by that is the way as we get older, we still view ourselves in a certain light. I don't know if I said this on an episode, but recently, I forget where I was, but I was walking and somebody else was a younger guy. He was like maybe 20. He was walking, he was on his phone looking down.
What's up,
He about to
OG?
bump into me and saw me. He was like, "Sorry, sir." Like he said, "Sorry, sir," and I'm like, "Sir, what the fuck?" Like, you know what I mean? Like to me, when I see him, like we equals, we counterparts. And that nigga look at me like, nigga, you got gray in your beard, man. You a sir. Like, my bad, sir. And I told you about the OG and Unk shit. So
yeah, my bad OG is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Hey, my bad OG.
Mm-hmm.
Nigga, who you talking to?
You know who you talking to.
That shit heartbreaking, nigga. Jesus.
I ain't gonna lie, man. Not bad for not having anything prepared.
We did it.
Good job by you. That's it, man. I think that's it. I think that was a good conversation to have. Good 90-minute convo, man. Just kind of went from place to place, opened up, had some curiosity conversation, had some introspective conversation. It's always a pleasure, man. That's why we've done this enough to where I know, like, man, we'll figure it out. You know what I mean? We'll figure it out and we'll make some good talk, and it always comes from a good place. So hopefully everybody out there enjoyed it, man. We appreciate y'all as always for tuning in, for locking in with us. Please remember to hit us up, comment, like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. This is an important space, and we appreciate y'all joining us for it. Next week, First Friday, so we'll have Dave on with another special guest. Looking forward to that. Always a pleasure to have our good brother Dave on with us.
Facts.
And yeah, we'll catch y'all for Chapter 72. Spike Lee, you got anything else?
That's it, man. We appreciate y'all joining us as always. We out. Peace.
Peace.